and I'll just get my notes. So yeah, I think we're all here now, and I guess I should say good evening, good morning, good afternoon, because again, like we're such an international community. It's just amazing to see such enthusiasm from all around the world. It's an exciting time, and we're just about to get into the presentations to see the amazing ideas and concepts the teams have been putting together over the past few days. Um, from a personal perspective, and I think Meryl would agree with me, we've been truly blown away with the interactions from the teams and the community over the past few days, with participants representing like five continents from Africa to South America, Asia, and Europe, and North America as well. So, as a first event, this shows the diversity and global scope, not just of the community, but of the technology that we're building with as well. And like I was saying a few minutes ago, we can see from the repos and the project documents already submitted that there are some very unique and innovative ideas that have been built in this relatively short space of time. Um, and as we all know, this event is about bringing people together and providing everyone with an opportunity to explore the technology IOTA provides and how we can use it to help support the future of our food. There are countless areas of agriculture and the food sector where challenges present huge blockers in building more inclusive and resilient food systems. And the projects that have been built here today, well, over the past few days, really shine a light towards the potential the technology has to create more accessible and sustainable rural systems for everybody. Um, just a refresher on day one, the three tracks that we were looking at are common challenges that are faced in agriculture all around the world, and they're the food waste, rural development, and sustainable agriculture. And we've observed over the past few days that the participating teams, you guys, have really embraced the technology and the challenges, and have all jumped in at the deep end and really gone full throttle into this area to try and solve these problems, exploring new technology, doing research, discovering about agriculture and food, meeting new people, and as well helping each other, so we can all gain like a further insight into how this technology can support to build a brighter future for everyone. um, like I said, in a moment, we're going to see the presentations and the projects from the teams that you have developed over just 48 hours, which will really illustrate some amazing and inspirational ideas and concepts that can help support the future of our food. Before we jump into the presentations, I want to introduce the jury for the hackathon, which include Sebastian and Mariana, who are both members of the IOTA Foundation, who have given up their time to support the community in this event. We're also joined by Kevin, who is a really well respected and extraordinarily talented developer within the IOTA community. And we also have Meryl, who you all know, who's a Google mentor and experienced DLT developer. And then there's myself, Adam, the founder of Cropley, which is an agriculture tech company, and also the organizer for the Agri-D convention and this event. Um, so yeah, I guess having introduced everybody and talked too much, we shall go into the projects. First up, we will be having a presentation from Team Alpha Interface, and I think who will be presenting this? Where are we? Basha, I believe. Hi, Basha. How are you doing?
Yes. Hi, I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm great, thank you very much. It's really good to have you guys here. Are you ready to present? Do you need to share your screen?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take my camera off and you can jump your screen on.
Okay. Can I start?
Perfect. And you're good to go. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Hello, everybody. We are Team Alpha Interface, and as you can see, our slogan is removing the middleman. So, what is the problem? The problem is that a lot of producers, like farmers and so on, don't have access and fair pricing, fair income and fair prices for their products. So we are trying to create we want to also to provide trusted access to markets, like for example storing data in the Tangle to verify, so that other buyers or customers can verify how the product was done, created, and how healthy it is via sensors or something. And yeah, what challenges are there? So the main challenges right now, so that a lot of middlemen is happening. So if a farmer want to buy, sell their products and so on, they have to go probably through an agency, and that's marketing their products, and then the consumer or the a company can buy their product, for example. So the solution, we have created a marketplace for farmers, so they can use IOTA and, for example, with the IOTA streams and IOTA contracts, smart contracts, so they can directly sell their products on this platform without having to go through the middleman itself, or at least reducing it as much as possible. So they can, like for example, put up a sell order of their product and so on, and a consumer or a company can buy this out of them. How do you want to solve this problem? Yes, like I said, we want to cut off the middleman and give the farmers the option to sell their product as they see it fit, so that everyone can have like a fair price. And we want to have it like a peer-to-peer system. So like I said, the farmer sets up a sell order, and everybody can technically buy it. um right. So the future potential is like we have, for example, a farmer in Berlin or another small city, and he can like look it up, like how the prices were for their product in the last 23 years, and maybe set up a fair price how they see it fit, and make it easier for consumers and companies to buy the product directly from the farmer itself. So we created a little demo. It's not completely functioning yet with the backend, but I can show at least what we have done. Can you see the demo?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So, like for example, we created like a little web app where we have, for example, wheat, barley, maize, and potatoes. So, yeah, later this will be dynamically, and this is for now static. So, for example, yeah, I want to buy or sell wheat. I click on it, and we can see, like for example, the average price of wheat over the last 60 years from Afghanistan for now. So like I said, later this will be more localized. So if you have data from local cities or small cities, then we can get up the demo and give like a chart how the price was fluctuating over the years. And for now, like for example, I'm like a farmer. I want to sell maybe like 200 units of wheat. I can set up a sell order, and this will be added to the total available amount. And if I want to buy, oh wait, I forgot to. Okay, I've, okay, one sec. I can also buy, and this will also change. Also, like for example, later we will have allow the farmer to also set up a price for himself, and we will have like something like an order book where, for example, the buyer can see what is right now being offered on the market, and I can select one item and buy it directly from them. Like I said, the main idea is to buy to use the IOTA streams and the smart contract platform. Sadly, we didn't achieve to implement IOTA streams, but we achieved to implement smart contracts somehow, but we couldn't connect it to the front end. So on our GitHub page, you can see and run the smart contract, and it will be working. Like you can sell and buy. Yeah. So okay, going on the magic. Right. What makes our product different? Um, like I said, there are no other platforms like this where the farmer can directly sell their product or offer like their price for themselves. Um, our platform is like a direct peer-to-peer, so there's no in between actors. And yeah, as far as we know, there's no similar project right now. And yeah, that's basically it. The team was consisting of Nicola, me, Harlet, Girawat, and Widget. And that's it. Thank you. And back to Adam.
Thank you very much, Fasha. That's really interesting. Looking at options and crop futures for agricultures, that's an area that could really make a difference. I'm going to open up to the jury and see if anybody has any questions. Nope. If not, I would like to ask: is it possible to see the back end? Have you got a back end demonstration, of, like a code line demonstration, or
We didn't. Other we like I said, we have like everything on the GitHub. I can't do that right now because I was not the one that did it. It was NTSD. So yeah, but
not a
basically everything is on the GitHub, so you can set it up and run the contracts directly there.
No, that's cool. Just one question in regards to the marketplace. Are you looking at doing because it appears like a commodity exchange? So would you be looking at expanding that to a global trade sort of scenario, or is it more localized and locally focused?
Um, so the localization was more technically for the farmer to see like how the prices are in their local environment. But I mean, nobody. We didn't plan this, but I think nobody can like hinder you from to buy a corpse from Berlin if you are living in Canada or something like that. Logistical thing we will have to discuss, but yeah, I think it should be possible. Yeah.
Awesome. Um, and how would you see the farmer getting involved in this, getting into this, and interacting with the wholesalers or brokers?
Yeah, the idea was that we are cutting off like the middleman actors, so the farmers can maybe we have more profit out of their products and by selling them directly on our marketplace. So that would have been the incentives right now.
Perfect. Oh no, that's awesome. Thank you. Does anybody have any other questions from the jury?
Have a question.
Yep.
Thanks for the presentation first. And where did you get the price data? Is this a public API or?
Yeah, we got like found like a public API that was consistent. So it was like an Excel file as CSV. I converted it to a JSON, and I just took like the country out of Afghanistan and Albania, so the first two countries, and yeah, but there are also a lot of other countries there, so you can see how much they sold. How much the value of their corpses were. They're also like for wheat, for potatoes, and other stuff also, yeah. But we can
Nice.
share it also if you want to.
And this is also part of the smart contract?
The data itself would be probably more stored on via IOTA's streams, but the contracts for buying and selling will be probably smart contracts.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Basha and Alpha Interface. I really like that idea. I think a crop futures marketplace, like a commodities marketplace that can give access to farmers direct, is amazing. So yeah, so thank you very much. And with that presentation out the way, we're moving on to Team Fulham. Um, who will be presenting from Team Fulham?
Uh, yeah, that would be me. Hi,
Perfect.
guys. My
Hi.
name is Soham, and I would like to present our project, Fair Food. Uh, our motto is Market Fairness to Farmers. Now, as we know, the whole agriculture industry is a very difficult place to be in. Uh, I don't know about other countries, but in my country, the situations are pretty harsh for the farmers. Uh, in the latest news, the farmers are protesting against the new farm laws, which basically just make their existence way more difficult. So, some of the key points that have been a problem for years in the industry is that farmers suffer due to bad weather and infestation, and they can only get the money after the sale of their produce. It's like a one time deal. There is no stable income. So, this uncertainty drives people away from the market, and no one wants to really get into it, and the people who are already in it are very miserable.
Especially
So,
because
yeah.
agriculture makes for a major part of many countries' GDP that can't export minerals or fossil fuels. So that means that their agriculture has to be the best or as good as it can be for their own internal supply and their own incoming and outgoing trade for more profit. But as Soham said, the thing is that the farmers who grow these in the first place aren't don't have these benefits at all. We spend a lot of money on agricultural products like fertilizers or soil acid neutralizers, but ironically, none of it ends up ever benefiting the farmer himself. The average farmer with 2 acres or 3 acres of land usually goes and gets loan from a local dealer and usually gets stuck in a debt cycle because he doesn't get a payment beyond the first beyond the first yield when he sells off his crop to the dealer. What our idea was, what our idea was that we were making something that could provide the farmers with an income that generated throughout the year until the next crop yield came through. Because in most places, you can only get crops out once or twice, depending on the soil health and the irrigational products available, and all of the other factors involving weather and environment. So, what
Yes.
we
So what we propose is that we will make use of this wonderful technology that IOTA provides us with. That is the smart contracts. So basically, what we intend to do is we intend to spread out the farmer's earning in the separate stages of production that his produce would be involved in. Well, we don't intend to threaten any middleman's job. Instead, uh, we intend to engage them in a sort of symbiotic relationship so that both of them can make money in the best way possible, which would be really positive for their own relationship and also uh, the end consumer, because the strides that these guys would make would be incredible because of obviously they would be earning more. So what we intend to do is that uh, we will roll this out in stages. For example, I mean, it would be very difficult for the end user to understand currently what the crypto market is and how the transactions in it would work out. So we could start with the farmer getting pay in crypto by the dealer or however we can term it, as coined by my colleague Tejas. So
And
what would happen is that a certain cut of whatever the dealer further sells off the produce to, or whatever he has made of it, a certain cut of it would go to the farmer and further on. So basically, the farmer gets a way more stable income, which would help him economically and thus maybe even emotionally. Because, as I said, uh, farmer suicides, at least in my country, are a major headline because
and
those guys are just trapped in debt loops.
and
And
as Soham said, that's the eventual goal. If someone produces two tons of wheat products and they get involved in some little products across the market, the farmer can gain a lot of revenue that way, which will in turn boost the country's economy itself, because there is the rate of cash flow around. And smart contracts, as Soham said, they can be the key to unlock this with IOTA. So
yes, and this technology can be further expanded to into other industries like mining and handicrafts. I mean, we are only limited by our imagination. The technology can be very scalable, just like what IOTA aims to be.
and then
And now
Soham can
yeah,
give you a sorry, go ahead.
yeah. So basically, what we aim to do is the end product can, or even whatever the product has in the middle, it can have a QR code that the purchaser can scan and he will pay for it via his wallet. So when he pays, the basically whenever he pays, he will be able to the basically the wallet will process what the product is and access all the verifiable credentials of that product and get the IDs and basically take all the information that would be required to divide the transferable amount into the parties involved which were in the making of that product. So that's how we intend for this to roll out. I mean, ease of operation is very important because, as we know, this is a new industry. We want more users, so we intend on making use of the simplest interface possible. Uh, Unfortunately, though, we were only able to do the front end part because we intended to use TypeScript for the backend using IOTA smart contracts, but the documentation was limited and we required manual handheld support. So we are sorry for that. But continuing on, uh, the best part of this is that the network does not take any fees, obviously. Some other blockchain based alternatives obviously need to take a fee because, well, they're based around that technology. And also, if the project is deeply linked with DIDs and VC systems, so it also increases the traceability of all these products while achieving its original purpose.
And due to the security of blockchains and the way this all cryptocurrency works, there can be accountability in case there can be accountability and most of all security with this sort of transactional system.
Yeah, for example, if some production error occurs, we can quickly recall batches of food that might have been affected. And this has been us. I am Soham, my colleague Tejas, and thank you for listening to our ideas.
No, that's great. I can really see that your experience and your research and your passion for agriculture has really guided your vision on the project. Are there any questions from the jury at all? I have one. I got a bit confused in there, exactly how or what you've built. There was a lot of discussion around agriculture, and I was just wondering if you could clarify, because you talked about smart contracts and then you also afterwards talked about digital identity. So how does the farmer gain throughout the food supply chain through your system?
What I
Yeah,
think we're
I'd like to answer that. So basically, what we're trying to do is that we would provide an interface for the buyer of the product, whatever it may be, whatever stage of production it might be in. For example, take bread. If the manufacturer requires wheat, he would purchase it from the farmer. So basically, the farmer would keep all the money. So once the manufacturer has made bread and sells it further, so that's the point where the smart contract comes in. The smart contract would basically, all this data would be logged about which farmer sold what wheat to whom at what price, and all this data would be used to calculate what percentage of cut the farmer would receive on the sale of the bread. So the farmer is not directly involved at this point, but he gets a stable income. With each packet of bread sold, the farmer gets to keep a percentage, and the sale can be spread out. So it just brings a sense of stability into the farmer's life.
So essentially, the smart contract creates a commission for the produce sale from its original, from its origins, basically, to the farmer. So
Yeah,
microtransactions occur everywhere throughout the system.
yeah.
I have a
Uh,
question there too because I didn't understood that as a commission, but rather as a donation of the profits of the seller. So it's like a chain of donations to the supply chain, right?
yes, yeah.
And my question there was like, is this like something voluntarily? Because normally how it works when you buy raw materials is that you don't buy for one product, like one producer, in this case the farmer, but you have like different kind of like farmers in this case that you will buy. How will like it work in that case? And it's also like something that they must do or that is voluntary basis. And did you thought on something connected to like fair trade, for example?
Yeah, we gave a little bit of thought for products that use multiple ingredients in them, and I think I gave a thought to it, and I thought that dividing on the basis of the uh, quantity of the product used and its basically its price, we could come up with a basis to divide it further on. This was actually meant to be handled in the backend part of the project, which we were not able to do because this basically the backend was a little bit tricky for us to set up in the first place. By the time we set it up, it was already 1 hour till the deadline, so we couldn't complete it.
It's no worries. But yeah, thank you very much. It's a really good idea. I'm just not sure, because yeah, it's still a bit confusing in my mind, but I understand where you're going with it. It's a really innovative idea.
Yeah, a lot
But
of complexities arise with this project because there is a lot of transactions involved and
yeah,
a lot of
it,
relations. But
it's something that will build over time, obviously. Yes,
yeah,
definitely. But yeah,
it's
thank you very
something that
much.
needs to be scaled on. Yeah,
thank you for
thank you.
listening to us, guys.
No,
Yes.
you're welcome. So yeah, so that was Fulham, and A really interesting concept there. And next up, we have Signa Technologies, and who will be presenting for Signa. No one? Oliver, are you
Oh,
present?
yeah,
You can
I
speak now,
couldn't
Oliver.
talk. Sorry, I wasn't able to talk. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, Signa Technologies. Are you sharing? If you can share your screen,
Yeah, sure. Here
let
we
me
go.
just check.
Awesome.
Yep. Okay, it's all yours.
We said about watch, so I can do it in 5 minutes. All right. So our application is called DTAG. It's short for decentralized tagging. All right. So these are the topics I will go through. First, deep learning, so you can learn a bit about the context of the problem. Also, image tagging, that's something that is needed for deep learning. Then, how we are using smart contracts to achieve this, and also decentralized identity. And at the end, the UI and adapters of our application. So, deep learning, most people are familiar with it. Basically, you take an image as input, and deep learning is an algorithm that evaluates this image and basically recognizes objects inside that image. Like you see here, we have apples, we also have branches, and sometimes we also can see the state of each fruit. For example, if it's ripe or if it's green. For this, you will need to tag images as input to the algorithm because you have to train it, and this has to be done manually. Here you can see an example. We are tagging a bee, and the tag has 4 dimensions. So basically x, y of the top left corner, and also the height and the width of the frame. So that is a tag. And once you have an algorithm trained, you can do things like this. Well, this is an example from Signar Technologies. Here are small tomatoes, and you can identify them on the frame and also see if they're ripe or if they're green. Also, here we have an example with grapes. So this way, you can automate tasks in agriculture and, for example, count how many there are and what states they're in, if they're ready to be picked up or if they need some more time to ripen. So the problem we are trying to solve with smart contracts is basically the problem that you have to tag manually hundreds or thousands of images in order to train these deep learning algorithms. And we want to allow basically to connect the people that want those images to be tagged to train the algorithm with people that have free time and want to tag images, and also maybe have it as a game because we did it, the smart contract basically inspired in the federal-led smart contract, so we can place bets on the taggings. And the smart contract takes all the taggings of one certain image and makes a cluster of the 4-dimensional points. And the clusters basically find the ideal point, the center of the cluster. And we can, with the center of the cluster, find the distances from the center to each of the tags, and the smaller the distance, the better the tag, basically. And then we make a list of all the correct tags of the players and reward them in an exponential function accordingly. So the best taggers receive exponentially more rewards from their bets. I hope that wasn't too difficult to understand. We have an example here in a local WASP node where we have a game that started here. The smart contract, we can interact with it with the WASP CLI. We can request plays. So I want to tag an image. I make a request to the smart contract. It returns me here the ID of the image I have to tag. These are 2 players requesting. The image ID number is 0. And when they tag the image, they send it to the smart contracts, basically the coordinates of the tag. And here it counts how many times the image has been tagged. And at the end, after many plays, we can also place bets if we want to. If we don't want to, we also receive the reward from the investigator. And when the game ends, we can see basically the coordinates here, like so. So the center of the cluster is at point 50, 100, 151, and 201. That is something you can see with a call view function. All right. So we also use digital identities for this, because we need to identify the users, because we want to avoid basically bots that see other plays and basically copy them and receive the rewards, like just as easy as a person. Here's the user interface. We also have it set up here in this web page. You can also basically get to the URL and see it. It's not integrated in the backend for the moment, but you can place bets here and then tag the image. If in this case we are tagging a B, and then you fix the tag, and this button should send it to the smart contract. And you can see here the total amount staked as bets that will get distributed between the best bettors. All right. So the adopters would be, on one hand, the investigators or the people that want to tag the images. They also place a reward for every correct tag that gets placed, and a correct tag basically gets evaluated in the smart contract with the clusterization algorithm, and it also connects players or gamers, as you can see here. So people that want to spend a good time placing bets or seeing if they're good taggers. Yeah, so the team was Israel Lopez, me, Alessandro, and Pablo. Oh, is there any questions? I will stop sharing.
Wow, gamification of big data. I like it. That's something I've never thought about or even seen before. So that's really interesting. Do we have any questions from the jury?
Yeah, I have a question. I didn't fully get how you evaluate if it's a good tag or not.
All right. So every tag is represented by basically a 4-dimensional point. So if we have many points in one image, we apply a clusterization algorithm. And that algorithm basically joins points that are together as one cluster until we have clusters that are with a minimum distance from each other. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we will end up with, I don't know, one cluster or two clusters that are far apart from each other, and we count how many points there are inside of that cluster. If the cluster is too small, for example, less than 60% of the players are inside of that cluster, we discard it and we count it as invalid, and thus those points are not rewarded.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I see. So it's something like a nearest neighbor clustering algorithm.
The clusterization algorithm is called agglomerative hierarchical.
Oh yeah, okay.
You can search it if you want to.
Yeah, I know it.
Oh, you know it. Okay.
Yeah, I do machine learning.
All right.
For a living. Okay.
I had one question too. How do you account for tagging like in sort of 3D spaces? Let's say there are some things which are hidden from the view, like the image would be from one perspective only. Is there something that you're doing to account for that, or are we just considering a 2D image?
Yeah, it's just considering a 2D image, because the cameras basically usually the rovers on the autonomous machines, they use 2D images, and they find objects in there.
Perfect. Thank you.
An evolution of the tagging would be to use a polygon instead of a square, but for demo purposes, it's just a square. And also I think it's important to highlight that it depends on the strategy from gamers, because they want to win, and the best strategy is to tag as accurately as possible and as many images as possible. Because if they tag somewhere else, the smart contract will recognize that as outliers, as Oliver said. So it won't even count for the average or for the central point of the cluster.
Yeah, and we have tested it, and it works. It works well. We have tested it with like 10 players tagging one image, and it discards the one that are not good tags.
Perfect.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah, sure.
If I'm one of the, or I want to use your product, I would probably somehow log in and provide data and tell the taggers what I need to tag. But couldn't this be exploited? Because what if people just don't tag bees? If they always tag, I don't know, some other insect on the images, or most of them tag other, then they would produce faulty data, or so I would need to check that first. Or how is that?
I mean, I don't know if I understand the question, but in the smart contract, when an investigator creates a game, so it tells the smart contract, I want to tag X amount of images, I want X amount of Y amount of people tagging each image. It also tells the smart contract a detailed description of how to tag the images. So it says, I want users to tag, for example, bees that are in the front from the image, that are not blurry and very clear. So users won't be confused about how to tag it.
I showed
Did I answer the question? Did I respond it correctly?
Yeah, but there are. Yeah, basically, the problem is, or the problem that we have, we work in the wood industry, and the problem is, how do you explain to people? It's really hard to tag the wood defects exactly. So that's the biggest problem we have. There are also services like Amazon that provide that, but you basically need, it's if you draw a knot or something and it's not exactly drawn, it's already really hard for the machine learning algorithm to differentiate different knots.
Yeah. So
yeah,
this is more thought for things that are like common sense, like tagging fruits or tagging insects or animals. But things that require expertise, it's not easy to do it this way. It's not ideal. Yeah.
Or it would be also maybe be cool that you could provide images that are already tagged. So as an example, I don't know if that's already in, but that would be probably nice so that users can see how it should look like, because
Awesome.
Oh yeah, we could do that, but that would be on the front end. Yes,
it's already in the front end.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
actually, it is. Let me show.
It is already in the front end. Yeah.
So if I draw bees, you show me an image of a bee.
We're running a bit short on time, so we can share this stuff later if you like.
Here, sample.
But yeah, that's amazing.
You can see samples there.
Nice. Thanks.
But yeah, thank you very much, guys. Okay, so that was Zignar Technologies, and next up we have Agri-D. Agri-D, who do we have presenting? Is there anyone? Meryl, do you know who's presenting?
I'm just looking for their channel. 1 second. Agri-D. Masapasa. Okay.
Amazing.
So, I've unmuted them. Awesome.
Okay, just give me 2 seconds. Are you ready to go, Masapasa?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. Okay. It's all yours.
How do I do the presentation? So okay. Hi, my name is Aswin. At the Agriota, we would like to bring digital identity and staking to agriculture by providing buyers, sellers, and distributors the ability to stake on each other and find a reliable source. So we would like to build a comprehensive marketplace with underlying digital identity and staking, because it gives all the parties involved smooth experience in organizing their agriculture inventory. A lot of food goes into waste and the cost increases because buyers, sellers, and distributors cannot find verifiable parties.
I'm sorry, what slide are you on? It seems your slideshow is frozen.
Sorry? Can you see my screen or not?
Yeah, it appeared as frozen to me.
I'm on the second slide now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I see
you're
problem.
on the problem now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, it just changed.
Okay.
Okay, so carry on. Sorry.
So yeah, a lot of food goes into waste because people cannot find the right buyers or sellers or distributors, and usually you will also stick to only parties that you already know, meaning that there is no innovation. I mean, there is no new people coming, and also it reduces the pricing power. So yeah, increasing the cost. So the main problem we are focusing is finding a trusted party that can be easily identified and verified. And the problem really arises due to lack of transparency, and only a few parties that are involved that dominates a big chunk of the market. And solution is we would like to build a directory where two parties, so either the buyers or buyers and distributor vouch for the sellers, or buyers and sellers vouch for the distributors by staking IOTA tokens. All the
1 second, Master Passer. Sorry, Aswin, your screen's frozen again. I think you might be sharing the
I
wrong
guess
screen.
don't go to slideshow, just show it this way, it's fine.
Yeah, if you close the slideshow and just show it like that, I think that'll make more sense. Sorry
Yeah.
for interrupting again. So just click on the next slide when you're ready to go.
Okay, can you see now?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so we would like to build a directory where two parties, the buyers and sellers can vouch for the distributors, and so on. All the parties involved get transparent and cost-effective information, and agricultural transportation can be smooth, decreasing cost and reducing food waste. And yeah, so this is a directory with a digital identity, and people can stake on the reliable partner. So I was building a full stack web app using main stack and IOTA identity wasm package, where you can onboard a party or organization and provide a digital identity. Everyone can verify this identity and recommend this entity by staking IOTA tokens. Unfortunately, I don't have a working prototype to demo today. And the magic of the of our product is so digital identity allows verification and reliability of entity involved, and other entities can stake on other can stake so that the most reliable partner is easily visible. And digital identity combined with power of staking on the Tangle provides transparent directory for any entity to find a reliable trader business partner. And yeah, thank you for your attention.
Thanks, Aswin. Sorry about the interruptions. No, it's a really interesting concept. Do you have anything in the back end or anything that you have that you can share with us?
I mean, codes are in GitHub, so I don't have a working prototype. Anything. I was trying to implement the digital identity wasm, but yeah, I just have a very basic main stack React app, but yeah, no, I couldn't manage to integrate the identity. So yeah. I cannot really show anything because now I cannot even show the React app because it's broken. I have to fix a lot of things. So.
Okay, do we have any questions from the jury? Nope. Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much, Aswin. And yeah. Oh, that's you. Cool. Well,
Okay,
thank you.
sorry, man.
No worries. We'll move on to the last presentation of today, and that is from Alset. And who do we have speaking from Alset? I think it is
I'm saying Tito.
Alexan.
Yes, I'm
or
here.
Tito. Tito, you're here. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. You?
I'm fantastic. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
So
Okay. Are you
we
ready
have
to share your
Alaksan from
screen?
our team.
Yes, they can
Yes.
unmute now.
I have another member in my team,
Alexan, yeah?
which is it's Lord Low. Yeah, Lord Low and
Yeah,
Oh,
Alex.
Lord Low.
Lord
Okay.
Low and Alexan can
Yeah.
unmute now.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. And who will be sharing their screen?
Lord Low is going to share the screen.
I'm gonna do it. I'm just not used to share with the local. Here, so I'm gonna try to find it. It's like a little bit slightly different than where we are.
No worries.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, so we can see your screen. Perfect. Okay, it's all yours.
Okay.
Good. Okay. So I'm gonna start with the presentation, and then Lord Low is gonna do the second part. All right. So our team is called Allset, and what we build is a food distribution system that use a humanity token for food, and we then choose to do it with the IOTA technology. Can you go to the next slide? So the problem that we realize that we have is that when a crisis even occurs, there's a lot of demands in the short period of emergency times. So this brings hard logistic problems because it's difficult to predict and rationalize and distribute the food and goods equally to all people in need to maintain the stock and the quantity during the crisis. Yeah, can you switch to the next slide? So our solution is to use the ledger technology. So with the ledger technology, it's possible to find a way to distribute food equally to all citizens with a tokenization system in the form of a cash and a voucher program. So we build an application that can generate tokens for different kinds of needs. It could be one token for to be exchanged for a chicken, another kind of token to be exchanged for rice, and another one for water. So we can have different type of tokens that we can distribute to the people in a crisis event. So each token has the particularity as we can set the number of generated token and also the expiration date for each token. And what is important with that, with us to set the expiration date, is that a token cannot be redeemed after a certain delay. So this is gonna help us to manage the quantity and the stocks that we have in provision, and so we don't have a provisioning or distribution issue with that. So by monitoring the distribution, you can also avoid to send too many goods to a place when people don't need it, and that we end up with having overstock. Also, by using distributing voucher in the form of a token, it's easier to reach more people, and it's easier way to help them. the watcher is going to give them the power to choose how they will use it based on the priority, on their priority, as we can provide different kind of goods based on each one needs. The idea is also to bring local commerce and farms to use our system so they can provide foods and goods to people in need. And within the application that we build, they can enter the product that they have in stocks and that they can provide and put it in the system and distribute it to people in need. With this way, this helps local economy as people can exchange the token on local market. And for this solution, we decided to use the IOTA Do 2.0 because we find that this technology has the transparency. We can develop smart contracts on it and we can set expression on tokens, and it's feeless to run. So it's gonna help to have a solution that doesn't require a high fees to run it. Yes. So I'm gonna leave the site to Fred. He's gonna continue with that.
So when you got Evan, the interface to create manage the interface will be able to create events. So you can save your information as location manager and creation of wallet to distribute the coins that we're gonna use for distributing or buying the stuff through our application. Creation of tokens and goods and food are going to be created by the application, and the user has a wallet to stock token and use the wallet to redeem items. As we say, it's going to help to avoiding to spoil the stuff that the farmer is going to create, or all that stuff, not create but produce. So even with the geolocalization little application that we're going to add in, it's going to help, because when you're in a crisis situation, sometimes you don't find where the place you have to get the goods and everything. So sometimes it's beside your place and you don't even know it. So this is going to help to find where the products are or the goods. So, and the farmer can register on our application, and it's going to be easier to find those people. And by the way, if you want to you need something, you can pull on the help button, so they're going to know where you are and what you need. So we create a help button, so from there you're going to be able to ask what you want, if you need water, a shelter, good. And this is going to help the farmer to avoid to spoil his product. So it's going to be easier that way to know if even the farmer needs help for getting his crops out or something like that, or getting harvest or all that stuff. He is able to ask people to help him. So donator can also use the application, so they can give goods, foods, and trade vouchers that can be distributed. And they can even give crypto to the application to support the people there. So the user application, the user interface that alarm the distributor that the user needs goods, and they got to be a marketplace that allow to see available offer and demand based on the geolocalization and available token in the wallet. So the magic is several cash and voucher program exists, but that we make our product different is that we use the ledger technology to provide transparency for the goods and distribution of the goods, because our product use IOTA Tangle, and we believe on a technology that can bring infinite possibility with the upcoming version of IOTA 2.0 and the possibility to build and run smart contract without any fees. So our team, I'm gonna let everybody speak about their little background. So we speak French, as we say, and we will very short on time with the time zone. And here in Quebec, we change time because it's I don't remember how we call that, but so we we were short on time because of this. So we want to thank you, and I'll set a humanity
Yeah.
token for food. So we can talk about a little background and all that stuff. So if you have any question, just go ahead.
Thank you very much. No, it's really inspirational to look at this sort of tokenization and the use of DLT technology for crisis relief. Are there any questions from the jury? No? Okay. I have a couple of questions. Oh, go. Who's going to say something? No? Okay. I do have a couple of questions. Firstly, in regards to the distribution of tokens, in crisis situations, there's a lot of things to take into consideration, and access to food is obviously one of them, but access to connectivity, access to electricity and networks is also an issue. So how do you see the distribution of tokens in a situation like that?
When you mean that there is no electricity?
Yeah.
Yeah. First, for our first vision is that we develop an application that can be run on mobile phones. So for sure, if the mobile phone doesn't work, it's going to be an issue for that. But with the IoT, I think that we can build some device that can run the wallet on using low power consumption. So it can be device that use solar power to run.
So distribution through mobile D app, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. And again, from the other perspective, distribution of food and produce in these scenarios is also a challenge. How would you understand that these tokens are being distributed and that the food is getting to these tokens?
Okay. Well, when to be able to generate the tokens, we have to quantify the needs first. So if we say that okay, we have we need like 1,000 chicken for this week, so we're gonna generate 1,000 tokens that will be distributed to 1,000 persons, and the token has an expiration. So by the end of the week, if you didn't use your token, it's gonna be expired, and you cannot use it the next week. So by expiring the tokens, we can assure that we have enough quantity to distribute the food every week. And I think that this is one important thing about our solution is that we have to put a certain expression on the token. Because if we don't do that, maybe people is gonna collect them and come the week after, and we don't have enough food to give to them.
Awesome. No, that's great. Are there any other questions from the jury or anything? No? Cool. Awesome.
And about the geolocalization, it helped to know where the resources are. So even if those people have tokens, they can distribute directly the products to the person. So it's going to be easier that way. Because sometime in crisis, you get some example road destroy and all that stuff. So with the geolocalization, you can know where's the problem is, and you can also alert with the help button we create. So we're gonna have function added to this. It's gonna be easier to find the people that really needs help.
I imagine you use like a GPS mapping system for that, so you could really pinpoint locate where people are who need help.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Perfect. No, that's awesome. No, that's a really interesting use of tokenization there. Cool. So that was Alset. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
So
you.
we're at the end of the pitches now. I'm just going to get back on my camera if I can just take that off. Oh, it appears. Can you see my camera now? It's not working, is it?
Nope, it broke.
Discord's being broken. I'll leave it there. Oh no, there we go. Okay. So we're at the end, and thank you very much. There's some really crazy and amazing out of the box ideas there, and to think that you've come up with these ideas and started to build them, and some even almost completed, like fully working products in such a short space of time is incredible. What we're going to do now is we're going to let you all relax because that's the end of it for you for now. You can all breathe, grab yourselves a beer or a coffee if it's morning, and a glass of wine or something, and just relax, celebrate, give yourselves a pat on the back because you've all done an amazing job. You've all really thought outside the box. You've explored new territories. You've connected with new people, and I'm well. Meryl and myself were chatting earlier, and we were actually blown away by some of the progress made in such a short space of time. So what we're going to do now is the jury is going to take a bit of time to have a think, have a look at the repos again, go over our thoughts, and put everything together. And I don't think, because there's not so many teams who have stuck about. We've gone from 10 to 5, but that doesn't matter. What we'll do is we'll come back at past, so in 20 minutes, and we'll do a little talk about the results and what's in store for the finalists next Friday. And of course, the prizes, which I'm sure you're all looking forward to. So thank you very much. And if any of you has any questions or anything, just get us in the chat. But yeah, it's time to relax now. So yeah, I'll speak to you in 20 minutes. Ciao, ciao, and thank you.